Hello everyone, in today's video I'm gonna give you a quick tour around the Piper Seneca III. Is the airplane we use to do our multi-engine rating here in Canadian Aviation College in Vancouver, so I hope you guys like it. If your plan, like mine, is to become an airline pilot one day, you're gonna have to do your multi-engine rating. And the Piper Seneca is a great plane to do that. My flight school here in Vancouver have two Piper Seneca IIIs, and today I'm gonna show you one of them. This is a beautiful aircraft with variable pitch propeller, two very powerful engines, and it's a beautiful plane from outside and inside. I'm not gonna go too deep into details in this video. If you guys wanna know more about the plane, please send me questions in the comments. And maybe if enough of you have questions about this plane, I'm gonna make a detailed video of maybe 40 minutes in-depth review of Piper Seneca III. But for now, I'll keep it simple. I'll just show you guys outside of the plane, some curiosities, some little things here and there, and then show you guys the inside, the passenger seats, the front seats, and the panel, without going too much into details. So the Piper Seneca basically started from the Piper Cherokee. The maximum takeoff weight of this plane right here is 4,750 pounds. It has a very good useful load, so you can take 4 passengers on the back, full tanks, and you should be fine. Of course, that depends on how heavy your passengers are. This plane has the icing on the blades, wings, and on the back as well. It has one door here in front for the pilots on the right side, just like in the Piper Warrior, and another door on the left side for the passengers. It's kind of more towards the back of the plane, near the cargo compartment. Just like the Piper Warrior, this plane is very easy to fill up. The fuel cap is exposed here around my waist level, so it's really easy to fill the plane up. The drawback of having wings this low is that to check your fuel in the walk around, you need to get under the plane to do that, but it's nothing crazy. But at least you don't need a ladder to fill the plane up before flying. Just like in the Piper Warrior I reviewed 2 weeks ago, this plane doesn't have a horizontal stabilizer and the elevator, so this entire thing moves at once. You don't have a fixed part in here. You not only have the trim tabs in here, but you also have in the rudder to counteract any yaw tendencies you might have during flights. Piper Seneca, of course, has retractable landing gears. Probably the first few planes you're gonna fly have fixed landing gears like the Piper or Cessna 172, Cessna 152. This one is a different thing, so you have new systems to learn about, new speeds you need to memorize. Of course, you have limitations when you can put the gear up or down. So you have hydraulic systems you need to learn about and more things you need to consider when flying. Here in the back we have the door for the passengers, and we also have the cargo compartment door that opens upwards. We can also lock this door open for easy access. It's not a huge cargo compartment. If you are taking 4 passengers, you cannot take that much of cargo anyway. But if you're not taking any passengers, you can also use the back seats as cargo area, of course. The back seats in this plane are fairly spacious. I am 6'3", so I'm a bit taller than the average human. But for me, those 2 seats are okay. I have enough headroom. The ones on the back are not really good for me because I touch my head on the top right here. But if you are 5'11" or shorter, I believe you would be fine sitting here. For me, it's not a problem to sit in those 2 seats facing back. I'll show you guys how I fit there. So entering the back seats is pretty chill. It is easier than entering the front seats. So over here, my head is fine. I mean, my hair kind of touches the side here, but I can fit comfortably. If you're flying by yourself in here, it's pretty chill. You can extend your legs to the other seats. Of course, I'm not gonna put my foot down there with my shoes on, but if you're going on a long trip, you can make yourself comfortable here. You have 4 cup holders here in the center. You also have the headset jacks here for communication with everyone inside the plane. We have air entrances here, down here as well. We have some good space here to put any items you might have, iPads or whatever you're carrying with you if you're here on the back. An armrest here, another one here this one can actually go up and down. On the side of every seat we have another armrest and an ashtray. Remember, these planes were made in a time where everyone could be smoking here in the back while the pilots are flying. I think that that's pretty crazy. I cannot imagine myself flying a plane and 4 people right next to me smoking a cigarette, but different times, I guess. Another thing is we have curtains here for privacy. No, I'm kidding, they're not for privacy, of course, they're just for the sunlight. If you're flying and it's really bright outside, the passengers on the back can always close the curtains. I wouldn't. I'm one of those guys that always try to leave my window open when I'm flying because I enjoy looking outside. This is the POH of this book. Is way thicker than a Cessna 172, so get ready to study a lot before you fly this guy. In order to close here, we just lock this in, close this door, and we have also a lock over here that we can lock from inside and also from the outside. I'm gonna show you guys the pilot entrance and the inside of the plane. So just like in the Piper Warrior, we have a little handle here, a little step, so we can get on top of the wing in order to enter the plane. We can only step in this part of the wing, of course. It's not like we can walk around. Getting in and out of this plane is kind of like getting in and out of a sports car. Because we are really high compared to the seat height. So what we do is we hold here in order to fit ourselves inside. And once you're in, this plane is really roomy and it's very comfortable. So the inside of this plane is much roomier than a Cessna 172 or the Piper Warrior. In those planes, we normally touch shoulders with the instructor. In this one, we have a bit more space. Of course, we have different controls here because we have 2 engines, and besides the throttle and the mixture, we can also control the props, and that adds a whole new experience for the flying. RPM, you need to monitor 2 needles instead of 1, of course. You have to always monitor the temperature of both engines. Also, landing gear, every time you're taking off, especially doing circuits, you need to always be putting landing gear up, landing gear down. So it's another dynamic when flying the plane. I'm gonna start flying this one hopefully next week, and I'll try to leave the camera recording behind. Of course, I want to be paying attention to the camera while I'm flying, but I'll try to record the entire flight and the communication, also so I can review it later and see where my mistakes are and how to improve my flying. It's gonna be a nice learning curve. I'm about to jump in and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But in here we have all the instruments you would expect in a plane. Airspeed, turn coordinator, attitude indicator, altimeter, RPM, vertical speed, and all of that. The flap in this plane is just like the Piper Warrior. It's like a parking brake in an old car, so it feels very solid, and it's heavy to pull. It's not an electronic one like the Cessna. In here we also have the little window just like we have in the Piper Warrior, and you cannot open this above 129 knots. And the inside of this plane is really nice. The build quality of this plane is really good. You can see the difference. You can see it's solid, everything. Even the Piper Warrior, which is the single engine, already feels more solid than a Cessna 172. And this one is the same. All the controls, the pedals, everything feels solid and well built. Over here we have little sun visor. And this is really good because in here you have a lot of information about this plane. With this plane you can go up pretty high. Of course, for that you would have to use oxygen, but you can fly really high if you want to. So yeah, over here we have some useful information. So in here you can see the right and left information. Also for the RPM you have 2 needles, one for the right engine, one for the left engine. For the controls here, same thing, throttle, mixture, and the prop RPM. In here we have the landing gear up or down and the lights to indicate what they're doing. And in this plane we do not have a key for the magnetos, we have this thing right here. So you can turn the magnetos on at any time, you don't need the key. And not needing a key for the magnetos is a hazard, because if you have fuel in the fuel lines and the magnetos are on, if you move the prop, the engine can start. One thing I forgot to mention, on both engines